There is a very specific kind of silence that belongs to an abandoned place. In the physical world, when a town dies, nature immediately begins the slow, violent process of taking it back. Weeds tear through the concrete sidewalks. Wind shatters the glass windows. Rain rots the wood. An abandoned shopping mall or a forgotten mining town is tragic, but it makes sense to our human brains. It follows the natural order of decay. But what happens when a town does not exist in the physical world? What happens when a city is built out of pure code, powered by endless server farms, and then suddenly completely abandoned by the people who created it? It does not rot. It does not decay. It just freezes, perfectly preserved, perfectly clean, and absolutely, terrifyingly empty. Welcome to the deep, silent void of the modern internet. Tonight, we are stepping into the ghost towns of Web3. We are exploring the billion-dollar digital worlds that were supposed to be the future of human interaction, but have instead become the most expansive and unsettling liminal spaces ever created. To understand the horror of these empty spaces, you have to understand the sheer scale of the illusion that built them. In the year 2021, a massive financial hysteria swept across the globe. People were not just buying cryptocurrency. They were buying digital real estate. Millions of dollars were changing hands for coordinates inside virtual worlds with names like Decentraland and the Sandbox. Corporations, celebrities, and thousands of ordinary people poured their life savings into buying invisible plots of land on a digital grid. The promise was intoxicating. This was the Metaverse, a second reality, a place where you could build a mansion next to a rap star, open a virtual casino, attend digital concerts, and live a life unconstrained by the physical limits of the real world. For a brief, chaotic moment, these worlds were crowded. Avatars bumped into each other on brightly colored digital streets. Virtual art galleries were packed with users staring at pixelated monkey images that were somehow worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. It felt like a gold rush happening in real time inside a computer screen. But a gold rush is driven by the promise of infinite wealth. And in the world of finance, gravity always wins. When the crypto markets crashed violently in 2022, the money evaporated overnight. And when the money vanished, the illusion shattered. The users did not just leave slowly. They unplugged, took off their virtual reality headsets, and never came back. But the servers did not shut down. And that is where the true psychological terror begins. If you log into these virtual worlds today, you do not find a broken web page or a 404 error. The world is still there. The code is still running. The virtual sun still rises and sets perfectly on schedule. The neon signs still flash. The digital fountains still pour artificial water. But there is no one there. Imagine walking through a massive, sprawling city. The architecture is impossible, built without the need for structural physics. Giant floating pyramids, neon skyscrapers twisting into the sky. Massive stadiums designed to hold 50,000 people. But as you walk down the main boulevard, your digital footsteps are the only sound. You walk for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour. You cross a bridge over a river made of blue pixels. You enter a massive digital casino. The slot machines are spinning. The virtual lights are flashing. The digital cards are dealing themselves on the tables. But there is not a single human soul inside. This is the ultimate evolution of the liminal space nightmare. Human beings are deeply programmed to feel anxiety in environments that were built for large crowds, but are completely empty. It is why an empty school hallway at midnight feels sinister. It is why a dead shopping mall makes the hair on the back of your neck stand up. Our brains are screaming that something is wrong. An environment built for thousands of people, currently occupied by one means that either you are not supposed to be there, or whatever chased everyone else away is still hiding in the dark. But the ghost towns of Web3 are infinitely larger than any shopping mall. They stretch for miles and miles of rendered terrain. And as you wander deeper into the digital wasteland, you begin to notice the remnants of the hysteria. You see massive virtual billboards, advertising parties that happened exactly 3 years ago. You see sprawling mansions built by people who thought they were going to be the kings of a new digital empire. Now, completely silent, their digital doors wide open. And then you realize you are not entirely alone. Because while the humans have left, the automated scripts remain. As you walk past a towering, empty art gallery, an automated, non-player character, a bot, suddenly turns its head to look at you. It smiles, it waves. A text box pops up over its head, saying, "Welcome to the future of art. Please enjoy the exhibit." The bot does not know the exhibit is worthless. The bot does not know the market crashed. It is trapped in an endless loop, performing a welcoming ritual for an audience of ghosts. Sometimes you will see a human avatar standing perfectly still in the middle of a virtual road. They do not move. They do not respond if you speak to them. They are just standing there, staring blankly ahead. These are the digital corpses of the Metaverse. Users who logged in, got bored, or lost their money, and simply closed the application without properly logging out. Their digital representation remains frozen in that exact spot, waiting for inputs from a keyboard that will never be touched again. There is an overwhelming sense of existential dread in these spaces. In a physical ghost town, the decay tells a story. You can see the dust on the tables. You can see the rust on the cars. It proves that time is passing. It proves that life was once there, and now it is gone. But in a digital ghost town, there is no weather. There is no dust. A virtual house built 3 years ago looks exactly as pristine and sharp as the second it was rendered. It creates a sickening sense of purgatory. The environment is too clean, too sharp, too perfect. It feels like walking through a photograph of a dead world, and the quiet is oppressive. In the real world, absolute silence does not exist. Even in the deepest desert, there is the sound of the wind, or the shifting of sand, or your own heartbeat. But in these digital ruins, if the creator did not program background noise, there is nothing. A vacuum. You can pan your camera around 360 degrees, looking at a city that cost billions of dollars to build, and you will hear absolutely nothing. Just the dry mechanical hum of the computer fans sitting on your own desk in the real world. But the horror goes deeper than just an empty screen. It is the realization of what is keeping this empty world alive. These digital ghost towns are not just existing in a vacuum. They are hosted on massive, sprawling server farms located in the physical world. Giant warehouses in places like Nevada or Iceland, packed with thousands of machines, drawing massive amounts of electricity, requiring millions of gallons of water for cooling. They are burning fossil fuels, consuming real-world resources, just to keep an empty virtual casino flashing its neon lights for an audience of 0. It is a monument to human greed and hubris, running on autopilot. We built a second world because we were not satisfied with the first one. We monetized every square inch of it. We turned pixels into real estate. We tried to bottle the concept of community and sell it to the highest bidder. And when the illusion broke, we did not clean up our mess. We just walked away and left the machines running. Imagine putting on a virtual reality headset tonight. You boot up an application that has not been updated in 2 years. You spawn into the central plaza of what was supposed to be the capital city of the Metaverse. The sky is a perfect, unmoving blue. The virtual grass is an impossibly bright green. You walk past the empty digital storefronts. You walk past the frozen avatars staring into the void. You walk until you reach the edge of the rendered map, where the world simply stops and gives way to a gray, untextured grid. You stand at the edge of the void, looking back at the billion-dollar ghost town, and you realize that this is what happens when we try to outsmart reality. We end up building our own purgatory, an endless, pristine, silent trap. The people who built these worlds thought they were creating the future, but all they really did was build the most lonely places in human history. They are still out there, right now, as you listen to this. The servers are humming. The neon signs are flashing. The bots are waiting. The empty digital roads stretch out into the artificial horizon. Keep your eyes on the real world. Turn off your screens and never forget that some doors, once opened, only lead to an empty room.